Hello and welcome to Learn with Indrjeet. This is another video in the series of videos titled Building a To-Do Management System Application in the latest .NET 8 framework from Microsoft. In the previous video, we implemented full edit on the To-Dos page using model dialog. It was part 3 of the videos. So if you haven't watched those videos, the previous ones, please go ahead and watch them too. In the previous video, we implemented full edit using this button and this model pop-up, where all the properties of the to-do item are binding. But when we did a partial edit after implementing the full edit, the remaining properties were set to their initial values, means the null values or their default values. So in this video, we want to improve the edit partial in order to preserve all the previous properties. Along with that, we'll implement toggle complete and we'll try to implement due today, completed and important also if the video doesn't get longer. Right, so this video is going to be very exciting. Please watch it till end. And if you find this video informative, please give it a thumbs up. I am very excited to jump in. But before that, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do that and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest content. So let's get started. So here we are. I have got the application running and we want to correct the partial edit first. So let's go to the to-dos page and we want to change the functionality over here. So instead of calling the complete edit function on this service, we want to have a edit partial method in this service. So let's open this one. So this is to-dos service inside of the web app. So we want to have a function over here. We'll name it edit partial and we'll pass this model DTO with only these properties to this function. Okay, then we want to have a function in the controller. So let's go there. And instead of using this update function, now we want to use another function called edit partial, which we'll be creating here. And this controller will call the edit partial function on the service. Okay, so we want to create a function here in the to-do service, which will be used in this controller, and then we'll call that method in the in this service, and then we'll use this on the page. Instead of this, we will have edit partial like so, right? So let's go from the back end to the front end. Okay, so let's go to the interface of this service and this function will return a to-do DTO and the name would be, yes, this one, and it will receive a to-do DTO. Okay, stop debugging. Let's have this function here. So let me take you through. This function we are using the dto.id property to get the existing model that is there in the database. If that is null, we return null. Otherwise, we are changing the to-do item property only on the existing model, converting that into model, and then calling unit of work dot repository dot update function to update the model. Okay, save changes, and then if the changes are not saved, we want to return null. Otherwise, we want to return the updated DTO. Right? Save this, and in the controller, let's use this edit partial function to accept the model DTO from body. Checking if the model is null, we are returning a bad request saying the edit partial, so let it be. Then we are checking for the model state. If that is not valid, we want to show the errors to the user. And if everything is fine, then we are calling the edit partial function that we just created in this service to update the DTO. Okay, and then we are returning the updated DTO to the front end application. Right? So save. Now in the to-do service, we want to call this newly created endpoint. Right? So let's do that here. And in the interface of this service, let's declare this method like so. Right? Save that. And in the to-do service, now we are calling the edit partial endpoint and passing it the model DTO. So now why is it showing? Okay, so this ID is not required to be passed to edit partial because only model is going through the service to the controller and then to this service, and it is doing its thing, and it should return the updated DTO, which we are converting and showing a message to the user, returning a JSON result. Right? So let's save everything, close the interfaces, and start the application. Okay, so let's check the functionality. Going to to-do list page and the to-dos, check your messages and notification. Let's implement all the properties first, and then we'll check for partial edit. So I am setting due date to be 20th, and the reminder date would be, let us say, 18. The repeat frequency should be monthly, and it is an important task. Saving that. Nice. Now let's go ahead and try partial edit. Okay, so this time only this to-do item name should change, and all the properties, let me show you that, all the properties like these should remain intact. Okay, so let's click on save, and yes, see, now if we go to partial edit to open the full properties, all the properties seem to be okay. Let's confirm that from the database also. So yes, So the partial edit is changing only this to do item name, and it is now not setting the remaining properties to null. Okay. Now the next thing is we want to implement this toggle complete functionality. So let's click here. On the UI it shows that it is marked, but if we refresh, see, the changes are not going to the database. So let's do that next. So on this page in the todos.js, let me just open that. We want a function that is called when this checkbox, this one, is changed. Okay. So let me just define some more properties here. So the input type is checkbox, and let's set the checked property. So checked should be equal to the item dot completed, like so. Then the name property should be exactly like this property, and let's say it is to do. So to do 1, to do 2, to do 3 would be for the other ones. And let's have another property on change. It is an event, not a property, and we want to call toggle completed. This is a function, and we want to pass in the ID of the current to do. So ID, like that. Okay. So this function will be called. Let's define this function inside of this JavaScript. So toggle complete is the name. Let me just change that. We'll remove a D. So toggle complete will receive an ID, and then it will call a server side function using this ajax call. The function is called toggle complete, and we are passing the ID, and then we are doing the server side thing and just reloading the window. Okay. So this is fairly simple. Now on the server side, let's go to the end of this file, and here we are defining a http get toggle complete function to be called from the ajax call, and then we want to have a toggle complete function in this service here, and then we'll do the API and the controller and service things. So the function, this function will have only one thing to do, that is to toggle the complete flag, that is a boolean. Okay, so let's create a this kind of a function. It will be receiving an ID. So let me just copy paste this one, and the name would be toggle complete. So toggle complete, it will have integer ID as a param, and a get method called this thing, and the ID would be passed. So let me copy this and go to the interface to declare it here like this. Save everything and let us stop the application. So let's go to the before writing an endpoint in the controller, let's go to the service and write the actual function that will be used by this controller endpoint. So this function is saying it will receive an ID as a parameter and it will toggle the complete property of the to-do. Okay, so we are getting the existing model from to-do's repository. If the existing model is not there, that is, if it is null, we are returning -1. Otherwise, we are toggling the completed property on the existing model, converting that to model and updating the change, and then saving the changes and returning the rows affected. So let me just declare this function in the interface. So like this, and now okay, everything is fine here. Now let's use it in the controller. So just below this method, we have to-do list slash toggle complete. So receiving an ID from the client, checking if the ID is less than or equal to 0, returning a bad request. Otherwise, calling the toggle complete function in the to-do service to toggle the complete property, okay, and returning a bad request or 200 okay based on the rows affected, right? Simple. And then we are good to go here, and this error now goes. So it will return a API response. Then just simply we are returning the message already, but actually we are not using this message anywhere. So we are just simply refreshing the page. Okay, so let's start the application and see how it works. So here on the UI, let's go to to-dos and try checking the completed checkbox and see how it works. Okay, so this one is already checked, and let's do this with this item. Okay, so to do item 3b edit 3, this item is here in the database, this one, okay, with all the properties, and completed is false right now. Okay, let's go to the front end, mark it as complete, and I think the page refreshed very fast. Let me check it in the database. No, nothing happened. Okay, the event was not fired. So let's go back to this guy and put in a breakpoint and then click it. Okay, so let's do a hard refresh. Let me just check the element. Toggle complete spelling is wrong. See, this is why I mostly take code from the clipboard. So toggle complete we wrote on the page, and item dot complete. Okay, now it should get refreshed, and let's check the database once again. Currently false. And once the page refreshes, we want to check it, and then let's continue. Let's see what happens. Okay, this page is now refreshed. So right, so this time this is working. Okay, once again, if we revert that and see the changes, yes. So why not show a message over here? Let's show a message to the user in the JS file using this toaster. So we have a toaster over here. Options on hidden is this. Let's change this one. Okay, so let's take an example where we used this property. So toaster dot something, it shows the text, then the heading, the title, the message, and then we have the options. Okay, so on hidden is a function which in which we want to reload the window. So let's refactor this toaster. So toaster dot info, we will pass in the data as the message. The title would be like, let's pass in null, and then in the options let's do that. Let's do this one. Okay, in these options we have this on hidden function which reloads the function, reloads the page. Okay, and comment out that. So let's see how the message is displayed. Okay, opening the developer window, and yes, see, record with id3 is updated, and if we uncheck that, updated. Okay, so we want to have some kind of a notification when this is changed, otherwise it refreshes so fast. Let me show you that it seems instant. Okay, so see, click, done, uncheck, done. So right now it should be false, yes, and now it should be true. Okay, now let's do some refactorings to our application. First thing that I noticed is let's make it as not complete. So one thing that we noticed is when we do a partial edit, this important goes to the left of this text box. We want it to be on the right. Let's do that. So on the todos.html, we want this important to be after this input. So let's take the input, alt and up arrow key to move the line upwards. Save. One thing is done. So let's refresh and see, now this tag stays here. Next thing is we want to remove this thing, this menu item, and we want the home page to show all the to-dos. Okay, so let's go ahead, stop the application. Let me just copy this page, the whole page, and let's paste it into pages folder. The index page is having nothing special as of now. Yes, so we want to get rid of this one. So let's delete this and let's rename this page as index, right? Some changes here. So this is index model, the class name of the razor page, the constructor, and here also the model name. This time we won't have a list ID. This will be home, and rest is, I think, rest of all is fine. Now this todos.js and this partial model is already there with us, and we are having all the functionalities of the to-dos page on the home page now. So let's remove this comment. Let's in fact remove this comment from the main to-dos page also. This was when we were checking the exception handling and all. So now on the CS file, this time we are not using this list ID. So let's remove it from here and here. This time we want to get all the to-dos on the home page, irrespective of the list they belong to. Delete this one and delete this one. So we are now, I think we are good to go. Rebuild the application and let's start the application and see on the UI. Okay, so now the home page is transformed and it is showing all the to-do items, and let's check the completed one. Right now it should be true now, yes, and this should be like false now. Refresh and false, right? So because the to-dos page was working fine, so now we have the index page showing all the to-dos. Now let's remove this menu item, and let's go ahead and do that very quick. So in the shared layout folder we have this the to-dos pages. Let's remove this list item, this one, the one with all to-dos link, and let's remove this one also and see how it looks like now. Yes, now it shows due today, completed, important, to-do groups, to-do lists, to-dos that are there in that are there without the list. Now in the next video we'll implement one thing that is very important. Is when we create this, we are sending the dates and we want to send all the dates in UTC format, and we want to show here in the local format. That is one thing. Second is we want to implement the due today page, completed page, and important page. So these will show their respective to-dos, right? All that in the next video. After that we will be starting with identity. So we'll implement identity tables, we'll implement the login and sign out page in the subsequent videos. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful and learned something, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button below. Your support means a lot to me. This encourages me to invest more time and create more valuable content for you. Remember to click the notification bell so you never miss an update on future videos. In the comment section below, please let me know what you learned from today's video. What was your favorite part? If you have any questions on today's topic or suggestions for future videos, feel free to drop them in the comments. I read and respond to as many comments as I can. To watch more videos on the same topic, check out the playlist or visit the channel. Thank you so much for your time. Keep learning.